All right, everyone, and I believe I was actually watching a live stream on Facebook right now from one of the numerous news Facebook pages I follow on there, and the word around the street, or around the street by I mean the street, I mean the White House, the article titles, it seems like President Trump, and yes, regardless, I know, he's still the president, so I will address him as such, at least in the beginning of the video, because saying President Trump 50 times is kind of redundant. But anyway, he's saying that until he gets the funding for the wall, the government is going to stay shut down. And obviously, being what, the beginning of January, the biggest complaints right now are legitimate reasons for, not wanting the government shut down from the people is the fact that, that's going to hold up, possible, if I'm not mistaken, the IRS, income taxes, tax returns, all that good stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, even like food stamps and whatnot, basically people who depend on their money each month in order to pay their bills and whatnot. I think that's one of the biggest complaints going on right now amongst the population. And yes, I'm making this video, and I am well aware that President Obama, or excuse me, former President Obama, had the government shut down at some point during his time in the White House. Now, in terms of like all the extreme details, civics was, if I were to think back to my public school years, I think civics class was like my lowest history score. I mean, I was always good in general history, world history, even government to an extent, but civics was just full on politics and whatnot. I didn't really care about. I learned about the stuff and I passed, but I know I probably got like a B minus, so I'm not very well versed in that kind of stuff. But it does seem like a major inconvenience, and it is definitely concerning because tax time is kind of like how people recover from the holidays for the most part when you really think about it. So to actually possibly not get their income taxes around the time they anticipate, which is probably mid-January or what, like late January, mid-February, is definitely inconvenience. But I don't know how to even put into words how I feel about it. I mean, the whole wall situation, I I don't know. It's just one of those things where, if I'm not mistaken, there is a GoFundMe page for the wall that actually has a couple $1,000,000 on it, if I'm not mistaken. I think I read an article on that last week. It's one of those things where I don't know how to feel about it because I mean, I've watched a video. I think one popular video floating around now has to do with a couple of people on stage, and this, I think it's like a black woman and a white guy, and then the guy pretty much laid out some real facts in regards to you know illegal immigrants, immigrants, the crimes that occur and things of that nature, laying out facts. And my question is, will the wall really stop it? I mean, that's my one question, because when you think about it, even though the wall might possibly stop, I guess you could say, for, I'm sorry to use this word, this is how they would put it, in order to stop criminals from crossing the border, what would that do to, impact or stop the crime that's going on in America right now? I mean, that's my one question with that. I mean, you come up with one solution allegedly, but it's a wall. People will find a way to get past the border in some way, shape, or form. And you can also reason, it's like, okay, well, think about it this way. If you use the wall, you prevent, I guess you could say, those people from coming in, and then we can take care of the people on this side who are, engaging in the criminal activity and whatnot. It's just one of those things where, is it really the right solution? Is it worth it? What's the outcome? It just seems like one of those things where one person's agenda is impacting a lot of other people. I guess it's the best way to put it. But like I said, I don't want to make some full rant video, because like I said before, I'm not as well versed in politics and government as I would like to be, and I don't want this video to cause controversy. But this is the internet, and this is a video in regards to what's happening in Washington right now. So there's going to be some backlash at some point, but hey, if you dislike the video, it's all good. I mean, this video is about what's going down, and some people will probably just look at the title and automatically dislike it. So you can do what you please. I don't care. I'm just, laying out what I just saw on Facebook, watching the news report. It just seems like one of those things, and looking in the comment section, a lot of people not happy about it. But then again, I've thought about this a lot. I think over the past week, and I mentioned this in my video reflecting on 2018, how I talked about going through Twitter and like unfollowing hundreds of people. I think I unfollowed like 1,200 different accounts. Aside from accounts that have either just stopped being active, accounts that just post nothing but spam nowadays, and just accounts that really don't present any positivity, if you will. So I did that. Even last night, I finally went on Instagram, and on my personal Instagram page, I went from following like 1,500 people down to like a little over 240. Same idea, inactive accounts, people that just post spam, people that just post negativity, and people who just post things for the sake of starting arguments and crap like that. And Facebook last night, I haven't finished yet. Like friends list, I mean, I did that months ago, but I'm talking like just likes, pages I liked. I went from like 2,300 down to like 1,400, but I'm still not finished yet. It's just a matter of social media. I'm trying to cut down the amount of time I'm on there that I can. Obviously, I do it for a living, but it's just in regards of a lot of people I haven't unfollowed. And when it comes to these pages out here, just posting the same repetitive thing, we definitely live in a time, and reading some of the comments, and these are some of the comments on the Facebook video I was watching, I saw some people was like, well, this is a time where, I see white people, it's a good day because, when white people are going off on Trump and whatnot, because this is one of those situations where when Obama was in office, it was a lot of white people making noise against the president. But now that you have a white man back in office, and you don't just hear black people mad about it, you hear white people, it's like, oh, this is a good time to live in. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that, but there definitely is some truth behind it, especially being a black person that went to Liberty and worked at Liberty for a while. I know what it's like to be just a black person on a predominantly Republican supporting campus, and it's not a fun time because you're black, you're either assumed to either be an Obama supporter or Democrat or something along those lines, so you're automatically the enemy unless you are pretty much like a Uncle Tom or whatever you call it. What is it called? I don't know. It's the derogatory term used to describe black people who seem to just dance for the white man. That's pretty much what it is. If you don't want to be on the opposite side of the negative, the negative impact of being a black man on campus. But yeah, it definitely is a different vibe in America now compared to when Obama was in office. And I'm not saying that because Obama was better than Trump. I'm not really saying that. I'm just talking about what kind of vibe I'm getting from the country, at least where I'm from, as well as what I see online. It's one of those things where even comedians, like from years ago or even today or in recent stand-ups, say the same thing that actually makes sense. It's one of those things where you hear a lot of white people making noise now in regards to things aren't right because they're being impacted as well, not just the minorities who are being affected, like black people, Mexicans, whatever the case may be. But other people I've been asking, so how do you feel about Trump being impeached and whatnot? And let me just put it this way. I have no real thoughts on that. My attitude towards any man in office, regardless of color or race, their political agenda, as well as their political party, I try to stay informed. I think I mentioned this in my video about voting, but I don't. I try not to let who's in office affect how I do things, so to speak. I just try to live my life, follow the law the best I can. Especially in these times, avoid being, being stereotyped. Hopefully, not getting in trouble with the police or put myself in a situation where I'm at the wrong place at the wrong time. And when it comes to impeachment, I just don't care. It's just one of those things where if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. It's just one of those things I'm not going to rant and rave about. I feel like that's useless because I'm just going to keep living my life. That's all I can do. Because if I spend as much time, and this is one thing, working for Liberty in the call center for 3 years, talking with students, one of the good things about it is just that you just realize if people spent even a small fraction, a small percentage of the time they spend complaining, just spending a little bit of time trying to figure out a solution and explain things get done a lot quicker. Because if people just point fingers, yell at each other, and demand something to get done without hearing both sides, nothing's going to get accomplished aside from a waste of time. Sorry about that. Phone's ringing. But in any case, what I want to say is that regardless of what happens, stay strong. Definitely thoughts and prayers to the people out there who depend on their money from the IRS, the government, and whatnot. And no, guys, yeah, some people be like in the comments, well, those people who live off food stamps and whatnot and don't work, they need to get off their butts and get a job and stuff like that. Not really saying that. What I'm saying is that, for everybody out there, I do feel for you. I hope you can make it. I hope we can all make it through this situation here with the whole wall and government being shut down. I don't know. Hopefully something happens. We'll just have to wait and see. So with that being said, guys, I said it before and I'll say it again. I hope everybody makes 2019 a great year, regardless of who's in the White House, regardless of, what wall may or may not be built using taxpayer money. Let's just try to stay strong. And like I said before, let's try to live our lives in the best way we can. Congratulations on making it to the end of this video. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that thumbs up button as well as leaving your thoughts in the comment section below so we can keep the conversation going. On the left hand side of the screen, you should see a picture of Jeffrey Harrington. You can click on him in order to subscribe, but also hit the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content. Also, you should see some videos appearing on the screen as well that I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy if you enjoyed the one you just saw. But also, be sure to follow me on social media such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Links to all my social media will be in the description below. And in order to help this channel hit 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to need your help. So make sure to share this video as well as the channel around with all of your friends on your own social media. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you all in the next video.